Hey guys, welcome to this session by IntelliPart. Business intelligence has been one of the most used IT concepts today. It is used to drive a lot of businesses to success by making use of data, performing analytics on it, creating beautiful looking visualization, and of course, at the end of it, driving good amount of insight. And in this session, we're going to check out just that. We're going to check out all the certifications that are available for Power BI developers, for enthusiasts, people who are willing to make a career in it, and of course, beginners as well. Well, guys, before we begin with this session, make sure to subscribe to the IntelliPath YouTube channel and hit that bell icon so that you never miss any updates from us. On that note, let us check out the agenda for today. We'll start out by taking a quick introduction to what Power BI is and understand why there is a requirement for Power BI today. And after that, we can check out why we require business intelligence in general and walk you through all of the certifications that are available through which you'll be clearing examinations and working on becoming proficient Power BI developers. Well, guys, without further ado, let's start with the session.
So coming to the first point on the agenda, let us take a quick introduction to what Power BI is. Well, Power BI actually stands for Power Business Intelligence Tool. In fact, if you're thinking if it's one particular tool, well, let me tell you this. It's actually a collection of software services, applications, connectors. So all of these things work together to bring you all of these under one roof, to call it a tool, to be very specific. So all of these tools come together, to actually take data from multiple sources, give you the ability to beautifully visualize them in a very aesthetically pleasing way, in a very immersive way, through which you can gain a lot of insights. So when we talk about business intelligence, it becomes very vital that we have a tool that takes in our data and gives out very good looking visualizations without us having to put in a lot of work. So Power BI is one of these offerings from Microsoft just for this purpose. So when you think about the variety of sources, right, so this is where Power BI shines through all the other tools, because you can have data coming in from a Java API, you can have a NoSQL database such as MongoDB, you can pull in data from Hadoop, PostgreSQL, you can pull in from Greenplum, MongoDB, MySQL, a cloud storage, a local storage, a cloud service, an offsite server, and a lot more. So I think you guys are getting the picture now. So wherever your data is, the ability to make Power BI talk to that data, pull it in, work with it, and later create visualizations out of it to see and understand what is the importance of the data that you're dealing with and what insight can you get out of it. So this is where Power BI does things in a very good way. So it's not just you creating visualizations. At the end of it, there is one thing that makes Power BI stand out from all the other tools that we have for business intelligence, is that here you can share it very easily. You can create reports, dashboards, you can share it across multiple platforms, and so the person you're sharing this to actually they can concentrate on putting their time and effort into appreciating the aesthetics, into understanding what you're trying to show with your data or what you're trying to visualize there, how it can help their business, and a lot more, instead of just wondering how difficult it is to actually visualize. Because with Power BI this can be done very easily. So the term bringing your data to life, that can be done very easily with the case of Power BI. So what do we use Power BI for? We use it for four main things. One is to aggregate our data, that is to bring in data from various sources into our own native system and then work with it. And of course, once you have all the data, you'll be performing operations such as pre-processing, cleaning, and a lot more things to your data to make sure that it's not very raw anymore. And after that, you're going to be performing analysis on the data. You can apply algorithms, you can clean up the data further, and you can reiterate this analysis process, where at the end of it, the result of this analysis, right, that is what you'll visualize. So think about it this way. You're in a business meeting, you want to pitch something to your let's say head of sales or something. So instead of showing a lot of numbers on an Excel sheet, let's say 10,000 entries, it would be very convenient that if you could put it into 10 different graphs, probably, right, very good looking graphs, very beautiful looking graphs, and show it out. Because you might be a person, you might be a developer who's very technical, you might be a person who understands numbers, who has a love for numbers, but at the end of the day, you need the ability to communicate this to a non-technical audience. This is where Power BI will help you in creating visualizations without having to put much effort. And of course, at the end of it, I just gave you one example where you're pitching it to one business lead or something like that. But then if you have to share it to hundreds and thousands of people, you can host your results on the web and have people access it very easily as well. So right from picking up your data all the way till sharing the insights with everyone else, this is a tool that will definitely help you do all of this. So who uses Power BI, right? So when you think about it, all the IT professionals who are involved in tracking some sort of key performance metrics, who are willing to understand what's going on with their data, or someone who's willing to take the past data that they have, present data that they have, and in fact try to predict the future trend as well. And then of course a BI developer will make use of Power BI because it's the heart and soul of business intelligence, right? I mean, of course there are many other business intelligence tools, but then the most popular one being Power BI from Microsoft. And then of course we have business analysts and subject matter experts who pick up on Power BI because they understand the value of what it provides and how it drives their business to success without them having to put much effort, right? At the end of the day, time is money. And with Power BI, well, you can guess for it, right? So it doesn't take a lot of time or a lot of effort to actually put out great amount of content. But then you really have to be trained and understand how it works. So in today's world, let's quickly check out why we require business intelligence, right? See, when you think about it, every company has to increase its sales, increase market intelligence, somehow boost productivity or get closer to the goals every single day, right? So every single organization has these kind of things put into place where they need to go closer towards the goal. With business intelligence, you can do that. So all you can do is, you can pull the data, create reports with like probably 3 or 4 clicks. That's how easy it is. And this, instead of probably a 2 or 3 hour process like before, boosts a lot of productivity, right? And then to gain sales and market intelligence, so what you can do is you can try to see customer behavior, you can understand it, track existing customer, and see to it that you do everything right to win new customers as well. So at the end of the day, for sales and market intelligence, BI tools are amazing. And then when you think about getting closer to the goals, right, with business intelligence, you can track a lot of information, you can do it in depth, you can set your goals accordingly, and it's not just setting your goals, you can make sure you have a pathway to go from where you are towards your goal as well. So with this business intelligence is something that's going to revolutionize the world. It has been revolutionizing the world as we speak right now. So being certified in this, and I'm sure you guys already know, business intelligence is one of the top careers of this decade. It's been predicted to be the top career of the next decade as well. So with this, it's trending and it's high time you guys jump on these trends. But then to get a really good job in Power BI, to become an expert, to showcase yourself and to put your CV out there, you really need some sort of certifications where you're showing the world you're trained. And this is why we have this session where we're discussing about the Power BI certifications, right? So why do we require a certification to begin with? When you can think about it, if you have a certification, it means it's a stamp of excellence, right? It means you've put in a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort into learning something new and making use of it, right? And this is not that. It'll get you a good job, of course, and you'll get a substantial increase in pay compared to a person who is non-certified. See, if a person who's non-certified, let's say, can get a 20% raise, you might be expecting somewhere around 50 or 70% raise with the certification program as well. I mean, of course, it depends on the individual and it depends on how much work you've put in, but at the end of the day, it's very lucrative to have a certification is my point. And then there's many corporate requirements, right? So let's say there's a very big player, an MNC who wants to hire you, but then they require some sort of certification, let's say from Microsoft itself, right? So there are multiple certifications from Microsoft that we'll be discussing, and they'll be like, hey, if you have this, you can apply for a company. And if you do not have it, of course, there is no chance that you can get in there, right? And they'll be paying really well. They hire across the world. It's not just that. There's many companies who have multiple requirements that you have to shoot through to get the job. So when you think about it, a certification program is going to give you a good chunk of knowledge and an equal amount of projects. This is what a good certification program means. It's just not all theoretical or all practical. It's the best of both worlds, where you're going to make use of your knowledge in real-time industry level projects, where you can sort of verify whatever you have learned, put it into implementation and actually use it. See, business intelligence has come into our world because we have a lot of problems, regarding understanding what happened in the past or what's happening in the future. So not just this, any IT concept, it's put into place because there's a problem and we need a solution. You guys as Power BI experts will be solving problems day in and day out. So your problem can be from a variety of domain, be it from the field of medical, be it military, be it space, a lot of different things as well. So when your domain is this wide, it becomes vital that you understand the latest certification offerings there are. From Microsoft itself, we have two main exams that you will have to clear, if you're considering to become an expert in Power BI. One is the DA100, which is the data analytics exam, involves analyzing data with Microsoft Power BI. And then we have another exam, it's the 7778, through which you'll be analyzing and visualizing data using BI as well. So let's talk about these two examinations. Right? So let's start with the DA100. This course expects you to have certain so this examination is going to test you on these things. One, how well can you prepare the data, how well you model the data, and how can you visualize the data, and of course analyze it and deploy and maintain variables at the end of it as well. So when you think about pricing, right, all of these examinations have a certain fee that you have to pay for the people at Microsoft. And I didn't want to mention the fee because it keeps changing rapidly. And when you think about the current times with the COVID-19 pandemic, they're offering huge amounts of discount. And as of what I've been seeing for the last couple of weeks, the price is changing. So I really don't want to put up one price and to see it increase or decrease later. For the pricing details, of course, all you have to do is Google exam DA100, and you can get all the latest pricings on the Microsoft website itself. So let's talk about each of these points for a second. See, when you're talking about preparing the data, right, to clear this examination, to clear DA100, what's expected of you in terms of preparation of data? First thing is you need to have the knowledge of how you can pull the data from various data sources and how you can profile these. See, we profile the data if there is a requirement for data to be very clean, or if your data is erroneous. You cannot feed erroneous data to the later parts of the chain where we're going to analyze it and visualize it, because at the end of the day, these anomalies, these errors in the data is going to harm your visualization way more than you think. So it's very vital that you prepare the data in hand, you clean it, you understand where to pick it from, and of course you'll be transforming the data as well, right? So when you think about it, right, here's a food for thought. Data is like raw ingredients. Sometimes it has to be clean no matter what. Sometimes you have to think about it like food. Think about it like literally food, right? You'll have to boil it, you'll have to fry it, you'll have to do something to it to make sure it's edible, right? When you think so this is exactly like that. You have to transform your data from it being a raw entity into making it useful information. So in that particular case, this is what you will need in this step of data preparation. And then coming to modeling the data. See, modeling the data will involve you having the capability to actually design and develop a variety of data models, because data modeling is the heart of your visualization, right? Because when you think about it, at the end of the day, you'll be performing a lot of analytics, applying algorithms and use of it effectively as well. Efficiency is something you really have to be worried about when you're thinking about modeling the data. And then it's not just development of model, you'll be making use of DAX. See, DAX is basically data analytics expressions. It's actually a library of functions and operations that are used to build what we call as expressions in Power BI. So to create all of these, you need to have an offhand experience of either working with DAX, or of course you need to be certified and have some experience working with DAX as well. And it's just not this, in the state of modeling the data, you have to have the capability to optimize the model performance as well. See, creating a good visualization from scratch is easy, but then creating an optimum model, creating a model to the best of your capabilities, to the best of the ability of the data itself, well, that's definitely going to take some skill, guys. So modeling the data is a very important step that you have to know in case if you have to clear the DA100. And then the next step is to visualize the data. See, with visualization, Power BI is all about visualization, right? So you need to have the ability to create detailed reports. You need to have the ability to create dashboard for mobile applications and others as well. See, at the end of the day, the person who's viewing your dashboards or the person viewing your charts can be on a mobile device, because let's be honest, right? Most of us are on our mobile phones looking for solutions, and having the ability to showcase your Power BI results on the mobile platform is very interesting and needed, right? So for that case, you need to have the ability to create dashboards for mobiles. And it's just not this. Be it a desktop user, be it a mobile user, you need to have the ability to create good looking visualizations in a way where you're, enriching the user experience and the user interface. You can create beautiful looking graphs, let me be honest with that. But if you cannot place it together, if you cannot add good coloring, well, at the end of the day, your effort might go in vain. So to create aesthetically pleasing graphs, you have to understand what drives a good user interface and how well your customers are taking into the user experience of the charts and dashboards that you're providing as well. So in that particular case, it's very important you know this to clear DA100. And coming to the main part of the data where we're trying to analyze it, well, you need to drive insights from the reports and you need to have the ability to perform advanced analytics as well. At the end of the day, you can get away with the basics, probably having minimal to, beginners training. But if you have to perform advanced analysis, split out and separate out these things where you really will not get confused anymore. So deployment and maintaining of your final results, right? That is definitely something that's required in DA100 as well. So as I mentioned in the beginning, let me reiterate regarding the pricing policy. It keeps changing depending on the country that you're from. It keeps changing on a lot of factors that's happening around the world. So make sure to head to the Microsoft websites to check out the current pricing with DA100. And then the next certification program that we're going to talk about is the 70778. Again, this is an examination that's put into place to analyze and visualize data with Microsoft BI. So if you clear 778, it means you have the complete capability to analyze the data expertly and visualize it in a very good way as well. So what's expected from you, when you're thinking about 77778? Well, you need to have a good understanding of first how to use Power BI and how to perform good data analysis. I think this is very clear, right? And secondly, you need to be proficient in connecting a variety of data sources that I just spoke about and perform data transformations, modeling, visualizations, and all of it using Power BI desktop. This is very important. And then you need to have the ability to actually configure dashboards, create good reports using all the Power BI services that are available. And lastly, you need to be proficient in implementing connectivity from a variety of servers as well. See, be it SSAS or it's also called as the SQL Server Analysis Services from Microsoft. You have the SQL Azure, and of course, you need to have the ability to implement data analysis in Microsoft Excel as well. Microsoft Excel is another beautiful tool that's actually used to perform data analysis. And Microsoft Excel, even though it sounds simple, is definitely an advanced tool. And if you're trained on Microsoft Excel, you can do a lot of things with it. Well, coming back to 778, it's mentioned on the Microsoft website that this exam retires on January 31st, 2021, and after which they're going to bring out another exam or another certification program. But until then, you're more than welcome to actually go on to clear this examination and get trained for it, of course, because at the end of the day, not much is going to change with Power BI. But I think Microsoft is looking forward to changing things a little with their examination, how it's conducted and what's asked in these examinations as well. But then, as I mentioned, if you're proficient with Power BI, clearing 778 should be good. So what's 778 all about? Firstly, it's about consuming and transforming data using Power BI desktop, because here again, connecting to a variety of data sources, it is mostly on-site data, but then it can be offshore servers as well. So ability to connect with it and pull the data is very important. To transform it, to clean it, to pre-process it, to make sure that the data is at its best is definitely something you will be tested on, especially in 778. So you really need to work on these skills. And modeling and visualizing data is, again, as the name suggests, you need to have the ability to not just create data models, guys. You need to have the ability to optimize them to the best of your abilities, because this is where efficiency comes into play. And if your model is very efficient, if your model is very good, then of course creating visualizations from it shouldn't be a huge task. And of course, creating beautiful looking visualizations, well, that depends on your practice, that depends on your art skills, and definitely some practice as well. It's not just this, right? When you think about clearing an examination such as 778, they test you on a lot of things, and your ability to provide custom reporting solutions is definitely something that they look for. See, because one solution will never fit all the problems, especially in the world of business intelligence. So you need to have the ability to scale yourself and scale your systems in a way where you understand multiple topologies, in a way where you have the ability to pull in data from, again, a variety of sources, because each company can have a different data, right? So if you're working on hospital data, there's a good chance to be working on patient data. But then if you're looking at, let's say, a social media company, your data is so much different, right? So to provide customized solutions for these guys, a good chance they'll be the companies that you'll be applying for, to provide these solutions. It is very, very important that you know how to create customized solutions, and this is what is expected from you for 778 as well. And it's just not this. Of course, you need to be proficient in Power BI, but then you need to have the ability to configure dashboard, customize the reports, and all the applications you need to know how to use in the Power BI services as well. See, it's not just you creating a dashboard, it's not you just configuring a dashboard, it's about you having the capability to handle security for applications and reports as well, because data security is something that is key no matter which IT field you go to. So you need to have the ability to handle security for all of these tools as well. And of course, configuring app workspaces is definitely something that's important, considering you'll be working in a team, considering you might be working on multiple projects, and of course, to keep your efficiency and to keep it all structured, this is definitely required. And likewise, with the pricing of 7778 exam, it changed based on the location that you're from, and the pricing has not been stable for a while now due to the ongoing pandemic. So again, for the price of the examination, make sure to head to the Microsoft website to check that out. Another question that we get asked is, hey, so I am certified right now, I've taken up the exam, I've cleared the exam in a very good way. What is the average salary that I can expect, right? Well, a Power BI developer in the US can get an average salary of somewhere around $120,000 and more. In India, it's around 10 lakhs per annum, and in the United Kingdom, it's somewhere around 70,000 pounds. So when you think about the salary aspects, a Power BI developer's role is very lucrative if you have the skills for it, if you are certified, if you are trained, and if you're good at what you do. And of course, you have an inclination towards data. Well, guys, let me tell you this. You can do a lot with Power BI, provide solutions to a lot of problems, and in fact, make a good chunk of money, through your career as well. So when you think about it, a Power BI developer's role is one of the top careers to have in this decade and the next decade, as I mentioned in the start of this video, and it is vital that you jump on a current trend and ride through it, right? Well, with that note, here are my final thoughts. See, I have a very beautiful quote here by a person called as Jim Bergeson, who says, data will talk to you if you know how to listen. So, taking a raw entity such as data, cleaning it up, processing it, performing analytics, and using a couple of numbers, using your past data to see and guide the future, or to see where you went wrong in the past, right? This is a skill to have. And if you have the skills, there are a lot of companies paying a lot of money around the world to have you there to give them analytics as well, because at the end of the day, we have hundreds of thousands of companies making use of business intelligence. And if I have to tell you about the companies who's hiring, there is a very good chance that no matter which company you can think of has a business intelligence team, because it is a fundamental requirement, it is a necessity to every company out there. So make sure you work on your certification, make sure to clear the Microsoft examinations, and be on your way to become experts in Power BI. Well, with this, you've come to the end of the session.
Well guys, we hope this Power BI certification video was very helpful for you all. If you have any other content requests, head down to the comment section below and do let us know, and we'll be more than happy to help you guys out there. Well, with that, I'll see you on the next one.